Welcome back, people, to Let's Talk Song. Today we're looking at something very different. And I'm torn between, it's all really cool, except these little things, but then, is it a song? Well, obviously it's music, and then it's a song. But is a song something that has a verse and a chorus? It should, but if it doesn't, and it's still cool, if it's got an atmosphere, then it's a song. So a lot of the typical aspects of a song do not really apply to this. And that doesn't make it bad, it just makes it different. It definitely makes it not radio compatible, but I actually have a video here that they have on YouTube, and we're just going to play the whole thing, because why not?
Good morning, stranger. You seem to be alone. What was the danger that kept you moving on? You'll keep that for yourself. There is no reason for things to go this way. There's just a promise. At least that's what they say. But time is running out. They won't forget, they'll never forget this. 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 With the mind stuck in the past, we close our eyes and hope that this won't last. And you're just lying here. We say solution and mean to let you die. An execution without blinking an eye, 'cause we are as afraid. They won't forget, they'll never forget this. They won't forget, they'll never forget this. They won't forget, they'll never forget this. They won't forget, they'll never forget.
So, clearly different than what we usually look at. But cool, let's do it. It plays more with mood. Obviously, it's a very artsy video. It's supposed to evoke emotion. I didn't get the whole death and the drowning in any way, up to the point when it said where they got it from, which was missing migrants. It's people, a little bit cryptic, trying to be very lifted finger, but that's okay. Music is also sometimes supposed to do that. We're gonna look at the chords first. Here we have the chords, and nothing really stood out there. Okay. Actually, it's a D9. Oh, that's interesting. It's D minor to D major. Morning, stranger. Really? Good morning, stranger. I don't think so. I think that's D minor 9. Can't imagine that that's a D major 9. Should we listen? Let's listen.
Good morning, stranger.
That's clearly D minor. Yeah, you gotta write D minor 9, or actually D sus2 in this case, because there's no third anymore. So what you're doing is okay. Hello?
It's in the microwave. You can warm it whenever you...
You can come in here and...
Nope.
Okay. Well, Leslie, again, we can't get her in front of the camera. So that's a D sus2. And then?
You seem to be alone. What was the danger that kept you moving on? You'll keep that for yourself. There is no reason for things to go this way. There's just a promise. At least that's what they say. But time is...
Okay, so what's happening here is it's not A, B flat, A that comes later. So it's D minor, D sus2, D minor, and that A. And that A clearly does not belong in the key. That's a secondary dominant. Pulling very strongly back to the D minor. So it's D minor, secondary dominant. So it's a 5 of 6 in this case, back to the 6. And that B flat is in the key of D minor or the key of F. D minor, F is the same thing. If you put your pinky on the D, okay, no, actually that's wrong. If you put your index on the D and go for 3 frets higher, your pinky will be on the parallel major, or relative major, actually not parallel, relative major. So D minor is F major. And in F major, the B flat is the 4. Very cool. That's a cool thing to do. Just ride around on the D minor, then go to the secondary dominant. And then back to the key. Okay. Very Spanish. You know, that kind of. It might go on a little bit long with the atmosphere. There's a reason. It goes on for a while, okay? That they won't forget this whispered. They won't forget. I like the rhythmical twisty turning of the line. They, stressed on the they won't forget. They won't forget this. Is that what they're doing? I hope so. There's a never in there. So they won't forget. They'll never forget this. Okay? Kind of cool. It doesn't get boring. It's totally fine to just have that on the D because it's an atmosphere. And then they're doing this D minor thing. Then, or whatever. The heavy part. Yeah, that's, visually supported with the war. Fine. And it reminds me of having a big contrast, clean part with a super tutti all band rhythm that's very heavy. Even though that's not the style that we have here, but Biffy Clyro would do something like this. Just the whole band all of a sudden is going into this rhythm, which is cool. It's got these dotted eighth going on. That's a really cool rhythm. I think it just goes on for too long. That's for like heavy part second repeat. I think that you should have stopped at the first repeat. The whole song generally is too long. Okay, for what it is. There's never I want to sing along with this. Okay, there's never a hook that grabs me melodically. And that being said, I think it makes sense to condense it a little bit. I think this. That's a 6, that's a 4, that's a 2. And we're doing a 6, and a 4, and a 2, and a 1. Bass sound there during that pre-verse is pretty cool, because you somehow have to get back to the verse. If you guys had pulled off to go back from the heavy part, bam, right into the verse. Bam, there'll be no future. And without having 4 measures of just, I think it would have kept the momentum of the song. Arranging wise, that's not songwriting. I think because you had the heaviness, pulling it back completely, it's kind of sad. Would have been cool to keep some of those going, maybe with a tom thing, keep that dotted eighth in there somehow. Because if you established it, people are now slowly starting to get the rhythm. Keep the rhythm in there somehow. Could have been a subtle bass drum, could have been a tom thing, could have been a click on a rim click. Yeah, ding, 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 like a kind of a samba all Welsh thing. Also, I find it sad that on that D pre-verse, the bass sound is really cool and growly and really low. And then the verse comes in, the bass drops out completely. That's fine for the beginning of the song, but keep some of the meat in there. Okay, you're going completely floaty again, and the bass almost disappears, playing higher. Blah blah blah. So you're doing that again, 2 of those verses. I would have done that in the beginning. I think this is Good Morning Stranger, There Is No Reason. That's all good. Oopsie. And then here, in the middle of the song, maybe you want to get to the meat and potatoes again. It might have been enough to do it one time. They won't forget. They won't forget this. They won't forget. They won't forget. And that's actually a pre-chorus kind of a thing. It's not a chorus. It's whispered. There's no melody. Might have been okay to only do it twice instead of 4 times. Maybe. So now you're going into the drowning victims for a long time. Where's the 11? God damn it. I love the chords. That is beautiful. You are definitely good at, first of all, with the material within a key, plus the secondary dominant, creating a beautiful atmosphere. It's all in the key. C sus4, B flat, sharp 11, tension in there, and it's absolutely within the key. That is not foreign to the key. Really beautifully done. But that part is like a C part, like a primary bridge. A primary bridge after we have a verse, they won't forget, I would call it a pre-chorus. Then heavy part going on too long. I would get rid of that pre-verse thing because I think you can get directly from the heavy part into the verse, make the verse half, and they won't forget this. And you're ramping up, they won't forget. And then you don't do it. You go into this extremely long instrumental thing where you're singing these harmonies. I get that in the studio, it's a beautiful thing to arrange, and the soundscape is great. But are you losing the audience? I don't know. You had somehow the fan of heavier music is waiting for that again. So I think this whole thing in the middle may be cool, but maybe cool after bringing the heavy part back, and then heavy part again, something like this. Chord-wise, you know how to write something super interesting while staying in the key. You're not losing me there at all. Some of the problems that the previous songs and the last, actually episode 5 and 6 had, you have got none of that, so that's all cool. And obviously this isn't a pop song, and I don't want to make it a pop song, but condensing the form a little bit. Look guys, when I say a song should be shorter, I'm not a proponent of the 3.5 minute song. If you can write a 3.5 minute song, killer. If it needs to be longer, make it longer. I have had 10-minute songs on almost every album I've done, big epic songs. My song Cities on the Chain.exe album by the band Chain is the first song on the album, and it is 38 minutes long. Okay? It has about 3 or 4 motifs and themes that come back and are reworked, rearranged. I know long songs, and I don't mind a 5 or 6 minute song or 7 minute song if it keeps my attention. We have 4 elements here kind of tagged together, and I think they could be condensed if we kept the energy of the heavy part a little bit in some mirroring or shadows of it with that rhythm, maybe as a rim click, maybe as a tom. Always keep that in there. And I think it is in there in ways. Let's see.
There'll be no future with a mind stuck in the past. We close our eyes and hope that this won't last. And you're just lying here. We say salute.
That is definitely where that verse should have stopped. Going into a whole other rendition of it, that's where you're losing me for sure. You're doing stuff. There's the bass picking up the dun gung gung, but it's longer. Dun, 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 dun. It's a longer 3/3/3 or syncopated form. Keep the longer syncopated form. The drummer is also too fidgety. There's dig with the little snares. There's such a great rhythm. Do, 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 do. Focus on that and see how you can bring it into the whole band subtly. Okay? Too much fiddling with the hi-hat and the snare that pulls me out of the groove. If you take that syncopated da, 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 snare, where does it fall on the snare? Keep it there. Can I add a bass drum? Can I add a tom? And do kind of linear drumming, kind of something, but outline those dotted eighth would be killer. Keep the bass doing it, not super heavy, maybe octaves, you know. You could even do, I don't know, if instead of the bass doing, have the bass playing it arpeggios. You get the idea, of course, on bass. Could be really interesting. Just that heavy part theme is killer. Don't overdo it while you're playing it heavy. Keep it in there. And I think you're doing it. I think you should do it a little bit more. Then again, what the fuck do I know? Don't follow me. I've got no idea. And it doesn't, none of this makes it a bad song in any way. I just think condensing it, keeping the themes that you've established that are cool in there and just hiding them a little bit. So when they come back, it's just emphasizing them. Let's look at lyrics. To me, and I know that's mean to say, I hate it when people tell me that, it shows a little bit that you guys are German. Because you're Germanizing some things. So, here we go. The title, Stranger, is good. Good morning, stranger. Got no problem with that. You seem to be alone. Alone is such a popular word for Germans. What was the danger? I don't think we would put that like that in English. It's not technically wrong, but what was the danger? Was war die Gefahr? That kept you moving on. You don't say that. So just in terms of like language feel, it's not right. Alone and from could be a almost but not quite really far away rhyme, but were you in danger? Okay. Were you in danger? What were you running from? Seem to be alone. Were you in danger? What were you running from? Alone from. Not perfect, but it could work. An almost rhyme. You'll keep that for yourself? No. Maybe, well, keep it to yourself. So in the sense of like, red nicht drüber. Don't talk about it. Or do you not want to talk about it? Okay. Then the question would be, why keep it to yourself? Or if you're saying, please don't talk about it, well, keep it to yourself, not for yourself. So there's clear actual German-English translation problems here, which is fine. How are you supposed to know if you freaking grew up in Germany? Okay, with school English. Okay, there is no reason for things to go this way. They're trying to keep it cryptic. Then again, the video isn't cryptic. But things is always a bad word anywhere in a sentence. Just like stuff, for stuff to go this way. There is no reason. You could say no rhyme or reason. That's a saying, okay? We can't explain it. It's unexplainable, no rhyme or reason. Shouldn't have gone this way. Shouldn't have gone this way. Okay, that could go. Also, things in this, okay? Shouldn't have gone this way. There's just that promise, at least. What promise? What are you talking about? There's just that promise? What promise? You might know. I, as a listener, have no idea. At least that's what they say. Who says it? But time is running out. I have no idea what you're talking about. Look at power positions. First line, good morning, stranger. Fucking powerful. There is no reason. Doesn't say anything. Last word, stranger danger. That's an American thing. Stranger danger. They teach that to kids. Stranger danger, alone, moving on, yourself. I don't know anything from those words. And if you look at the last words, it should be a little bit of an indicator what it's about. Reason, way, promise, say out. Reason, this way, promise, they say running out. Even if I read the whole thing, I have no idea what you're talking about without the visuals of the video. And it's about refugees, war, in general, just general refugees, war. I don't know that that's what it's about. They won't forget, they'll never forget this. Who? The refugees, right? Okay. In your video, though, you're showing people in the Western world enjoying their good time, enjoying vacations, having get-togethers, living a healthy, good life. But you are talking, I mean, that's of course video production, whatever, but you're talking about the refugees and the people in need and danger. Fine. There'll be no future, okay? With a mind stuck in the past. I like it. Okay, you're traumatized. We close our eyes and hope that this, what is this? It, maybe. It's also shitty to sing. And hope that this won't last. That this is not good to sing. That this. Same meaning. And hope that it won't last. And hope that it won't last. Yeah. And hope that this won't last is a mouthful. And you're just lying here. Here, where's here? Who's you? You'll keep that for yourself. You're not talking to anyone here. Here you're talking to you again. I don't know who the you is. We say solution. I don't think that's something we say. We say solution and mean to let you die. I'll accept it as a sentence. An execution without blinking, and now you fucked it up. Without blinking. Really? Is it blinking? Are you blinking? Or are you blinking? It's not blinking. That's not how you say the word. When you sing something, say it and sing it the same way. Otherwise, you're bastardizing the language. Listen to Zombie from the Cranberries on how to absolutely do it horribly. Without blinking an eye. There have to be solutions for this. I get it. So an execution. And we don't blink an eye. And we don't blink an eye. You can say that without blinking. You can anticipate the blinking without blinking an eye. Okay? That puts the stress on the anticipated syllable, which is blink. And that's the stressed syllable right there. I'm not sure about every time this last line, because we are as afraid. It's a tagged on line that doesn't rhyme, that just sits there all alone. Well, lost and alone. Prosody. I don't like the line. Makes me feel uncomfortable. Maybe that's what it's supposed to do. So good job. They won't forget. Okay, I get it. So is this what you're singing in that huge middle section? Hunger, torture, and nobody cares. By the way, if you were to look at the lyrics that I wrote back in the day when I had a band in Germany, my first album, second, maybe third album, this stuff is way better than anything I've ever done back then, okay? So we can all get better. Hunger, torture, and nobody cares. If they die, I wrote a song about Bangladesh and raining, and people are, flood refugees. If they die, not you, aren't you talking to the refugee? You're changing who you're talking to and about. Hunger, torture, nobody cares. If they die with all their despair. I don't know if you can say that. There's nowhere to stay or to hide. No. There's nowhere to stay or to hide. There's nowhere to stay, nowhere to hide. That, you see? Thematic. There's nowhere to stay, nowhere to hide. Yeah. When all you've got is gone in fight. I know what you want to say. Everything that you had was lost in the fighting, in the war. But when all you've got is gone in the fight, you don't say that. There has to be a better way to say this. When all you've had, hide, fight, when all you've had, well, we could find a solution, not now. We are the same, we are to blame. It's so insane, it's all in vain. Yeah, that's fucking rhyme stuff. Okay, it's not horrible, but it needs some work to be, first of all, so that people that listen to the song know what you're talking about, if that's what you want, and you clearly want that because you're doing one of these, which is good. Music can do that. Focus on who you're talking to. Is it the you? Is it the me? Is it the you yourself? Is it the refugee? Because then all of a sudden, if they die, doesn't make sense. Hunger, torture, nobody cares. If you die with all your despair, because you're definitely talking to you. So you're changing the actors here. You get what I'm trying to say, okay? There's a lot to love. Chord progressions are cool. This is never going to be the radio song. It doesn't have to be. There isn't a hooky chorus. There's a super menacing, they won't forget. They'll never forget this. It's cool. It's not a hooky chorus. This song doesn't really have a chorus. The sounds and production value of its production value is high anyway. Great studio that they went to, great mixing, killer sounds. You guys have done a shit ton right. Okay, I'm literally nitpicking and being an ass on what would I do if I had you here as a band. We would most certainly spend half a day on the lyrics, making sure they're freaking nailing it in all these little points that I pointed out. I would try to make you condense it a little bit more. Definitely the middle section, the drowny one, and carve out that really cool rhythm from the heavy parts to be mirrored a little bit more in the other parts. It's a cool atmosphere. I should listen to more from this band to kind of see what they're all about, and you should too. They are called something minority. Lost in Majority. Lost in Majority. Look them up on the YouTube. You can listen to Stranger again. There was also kind of something called Prisoner, so it sounds like, they're doing not political, but, worldy things that we should be concerned about. I hope this was interesting to some of you, and if it wasn't, I'll still do these videos because I like them. Animals at the end.